Hello everyone, welcome back. My new video recording is related to the FortiGate firewall VM setup in the VMware workstation. So I'm using this FortiGate VM64, right? So the default username is admin and there is no password once you fresh import the VMware of FortiGate into the VMware workstation. So I'm going to assign the complex password. You don't have to forget that. So show system interface. As you can see that there is a default IP address for the FortiLink which is configured as a static, and rest of the interfaces are in the disabled state, right? And there is no physical connection also. So let me show you my VMware first. Once you click on edit virtual network editor, and there are some interfaces which is added as a NAT. So this VMnet 8 is acting as a NAT interface to provide the internet to the virtual switch of the VMware. Anyone who's part of this VMnet 8 will receive the internet. So this NAT is the virtual switch of the VMware, okay? And I'm using VMnet 1, which is connected to my which is my PC physical port and acting as a LAN network, and this VMnet 2 is acting as a bridge also, and it's a USB converter which is acting as my DMZ site. Okay, so this is the only the physical layout of the my VMware setup that I'm going to follow. So VMnet 1 is LAN, VMnet 2 as a DMZ, and VMnet 8 as a network card, the network editor. Okay, the virtual switch who's going to provide the internet to inside the virtual machines. So I already make a graphical representation of this network editor in the Excel file. As you can see that this network 1, the adapter of the VMware, like you can see here, this is my NAT interface, right? So I already taken this details from here, okay, and I make a list here in my Excel sheet. Okay, let me copy and paste here. So this is the Excel sheet. Okay, so if you can see here, the NAT adapter, which is VMnet 8, is connected to my physical port 1 of the firewall. The second port is my ComNet 9, which is host only, which acting as a dummy WAN 2 interface. Okay, and net 3 is acting as my PC LAN port, which is VMnet 1, and this one network adapter 4 is my USB converter, which is acting as a DMZ, and it is bridged to VMnet 2 as per the editor. Okay, so that's it. Let's apply the configuration. So the first configuration is set config system NTP. So set mode, set NTP sync. I'm going to disable it, okay, and set type, the NTP type I'm going to make it as custom. That's it for the NTP now. And regarding my WAN interface, which is my NAT interface, so it is port 1, right? So the port 1, I'm going to let me show you show system interface, sorry, show system interface. As you can see, the port 1 don't have any IP address. Okay, so let me configure the port 1 config system interface, and I'm going to edit port 1. Okay, So set, I will set mode. I'm going to make it as DHCP. Set role as WAN. Okay. Set alias, I will just make it as WAN1 -1. Okay. And anything else? No, I don't think so. I need anything. I'll just make it end. So show system interface. I don't have any IP address right now. So what I will do, I will connect my NAT interface first. So the network, as you can see, it's not connected. I will go to settings. Under the settings, I have to click on connect. That's it. As you can see, the NAT interface, right? So I will just click OK. So let's apply again. We have to wait for a while. After some time, it will receive the IP address. Yes. So as you can see, the port 1 received the IP address from the 88. So if I show you the NAT interface detail, which I customize it, right? So the customized detail is that I'm using a DHCP and connected to the host adapter, right? So in my case, it should receive IP from 88.88.88 pool. So it received the IP is 88.88.55. So let's access. Uh, let's access the firewall. Let me show you the VMnet 8 adapter. This is VMnet 8. As you can see, this is .1, which is acting as a VMnet VMware adapter. Okay, so minimize and let access this 88.55. Enter. For the first time, it will take a little bit of time. Oh, sorry, I forgot to add something, which is the allow access policy. So config system interface, edit port 1. Okay, it's received the IP address, but I didn't configure the access method. So set allow access. I will put ping, SNMP, HTTPS, HTTP, and SSH. Okay, so that's it now. So if I show you show system interface, port 1, this is the configuration for port 1, which is mode is the IP mode is DHCP and access method is HTTPS, SSH, SNMP, and HTTP, right? And alias is WAN1. The role is WAN. So this is the configuration that I have applied. Now let's try. As you can see that after apply the access method, the interface is here. Now we can log in, and this is my complex password, and I will just put on later. So let me show you first. As you can see that this is the dashboard. I'm using this FortiGate VM64, which is 7.0 OS. And if I show you the network adapters, the only one adapter will be online, which is my WAN1. Okay, so what I will do, I will change the IP address here because I'm also using the same subnet. So I will just make it as 11. I will just make it 1. One. Sorry. Yeah. So in your case, if you are not using 10 subnet, because I'm using 10 subnet, so that's why I modified. So let's configure my second WAN port. Okay. So this is the part 1 for the basic access. Now let's configure my port 2, and I will click here. I will just set the alias WAN-2, my WAN2, and I will set the role as WAN, and I will put as DHCP. Okay, and I will allow SSH, HTTPS, ping, SNMP access, the administrative access, and I will click OK. So port 2 is showing down because the port 2 is not connected. So let's connect the port 2. See, it's already added to custom VMnet 9, and I will just click here OK. So it will just take a little bit of time to online. Yeah, it's now online. Okay, so it will receive the IP address from the VMnet pool. We will verify this later on. So let's configure the port 3. Okay, so port 3 in my case, as I show you, it is my LAN part and it is connected to my bridge LAN PC LAN port. So I will click here edit port 3 and I will set the role as LAN and I will set the alias LAN hyphen inside. Okay, and the network, the IP address, I'm going to use 10.19.90.10. Okay, and I will use the subnet mask as 255. Okay, that this is what I was going to show you, that it's going conflict. So in this case, yeah, as you can see, the when port 2 receive the IP address, so it's conflicting here. This is my 40 link, so let me edit this. I will just make it as 90. Okay, so let's configure the LAN port again. So I'm going to use my LAN hyphen inside is alias, role as LAN, and I will use 10.90.90.10 and I will just set the subnet 255. Now what type of access I need? I need HTTPS, SSH, ping, SNMP, speed test. This is the access I need. This is my manual IP address. Okay, and I will click OK here till now. Okay, now what I will do, I will connect my LAN interface also. So this is my LAN. Okay, I will click on connect. Okay, and let's verify that my LAN port is online. Yeah, it is online. Okay guys, let's verify our LAN connection, right? So this is my switch and I'm using a D-Link switch, right? Let's ping the firewall from the switch. Okay, so the IP for the firewall is, the virtual firewall is 10.90.90.10. So let's ping. Sorry, I put dot here. It should be like this. Yeah, 10.90.90.10. So as you can see that I can ping the firewall interface. Okay, and our LAN connection is perfect and it's working fine. Now let's configure our DMZ. No, let's configure one more thing. Let me show you how to configure the DHCP in firewall. So the IP address for the physical interface of the firewall is this. Let's configure the DHCP service. Okay, so I will just use 90 and I will use like 201 till. I'll use 90. So this is the DHCP pool that I have defined, 10.90.90.201 till 10.90.90.254. So the total IP addresses are 54 IP addresses, and I want to use the default gateway. So the default gateway, I want to use the firewall interface. If you have a different gateway, you can specify here, or else you can use same as IP interface. Okay, so click on OK. This is the DHCP server I have configured, DHCP rule. So let's verify the client is receiving IP or not. Yeah, as you can see that the network is set. I will click on yes, and this is my VMware, which is 10.90.90.202, you can see the DHCP server is 10.90.90.10 and it uses the 8080.2 and 999.1 as a WAN 1 and WAN 2 as a DNS server, right, in our case. So my client received the IP address finally. Okay, so this is the LAN part. Let's configure the DMZ. Okay, so under the interface, port 4 is acting in my case as a DMZ. So edit, I will just make it as DMZ and role as DMZ, and I will define the IP 30.30 dot anything. Okay, and that's it. I want to allow SSH, FTTP, ping and SNMP and OK. So let's check, let's connect to our DMZ interface of the firewall, which is my port 4. So I will connect the port 4, connect it and click OK. Okay, so let's refresh this. Yes, the interface is up now. Okay, so let me show you how to configure the static route. So the static route is I will use static route create new, and I will use destination any, and I will use my WAN 1 for example. Okay, and I will use dynamic. Okay, and I will click OK. So right now I'm using WAN 1 port, my destination is any, and I'm using the dynamic gateway. So this is the static route configuration. Now the next thing is how to configure the policy. So create new. This is the implicit deny, everything is in deny state, action is in deny. I will create a new policy. I want LAN to WAN. The incoming interface is my LAN interface, and I want to access the WAN source. It can be all, destination can be all, and service we have to define if you want to define any kind of service, or if you want to allow simply all. So all, make sure the action of the policy is in accept state, and make sure the NAT is enabled. According to your license you can enable the services like antivirus, web filter, DNS, application, IPS, and file filter. I don't have, so let's click OK. Yes, as you can see, LAN to WAN, all, always. Okay, except and NAT is enabled. Okay, so this is the policy which is used to allow the traffic from LAN to WAN side. Okay, this is the static route. Okay, and let me show you the policy. This is the firewall policy. This is the policy. Okay. Okay guys, let me give you a quick review that I'm using WAN port 1, 2 WAN ports, and I'm using one LAN port, and under the LAN I have defined the DHCP pool. Okay, and then I'm using one interface as a DMZ. What I have done is I defined the static route using the dynamic gateway of WAN 1 port, which is enabled. Okay, now let me show you the policy. This is the policy object. This is my policy that I want to allow a traffic from LAN to WAN using all, always, all, except, and NAT is enabled, and I enable the security profiles. Okay, and as you can see the bytes are sent are 5.24. Okay, so this is the firewall policy. Now this is on the firewall side. Let me show you something else on the VMware. This is the VMware, and these are the network cards. So as I explained that I'm using NAT card as a WAN, and I'm using host only adapter. This is my LAN virtual interface. This is my DMZ interface, VMnet 1 and 2, as I show you earlier here. So in my editor, as you can see, this VMnet 1 is my bridge interface, physical LAN, and VMnet 2, which is DMZ, is my USB converter. Okay, as you can see, it's bridge 2. So that's it for now. If you have any difficulties, please kindly like and subscribe and comment, and I will get back to you. Bye bye.